helping you to weather good and bad economies without putting retirement on hold. This is the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo. Ken and his son Nick know that creating a comprehensive financial plan can align your hard-earned life savings with your retirement goals. Consider them your retirement architects. Now, the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo.
I want to start with the broader picture about the work that you do and the difference between the work that you do and so many others that are in the financial industry, guys, because when it comes to financial advisors, that's, of course, a term so many have heard of. But have you heard about financial coaches? Because there is a difference. Licensed financial advisors, they concentrate on traditional things. Think stock investments. Think building that nest egg for your retirement. Financial coaches, though, they focus on areas like paying down debt, helping you determine your financial goals, as well as education. But they cannot give you investment advice, which is a big difference. You have to be licensed to do that, which you guys are. People should know that. But this article on Morningstar.com was talking about how financial advisors should evolve to basically double down and include services that a financial coach would also bring to the table, which is what you guys do in your office, right? How do you coach your clients?
Nick and I run into this all the time. And yeah, people come in and they're, I work with an advisor and, I'm going into retirement and I'm worried that advisor isn't looking at my planning side of it and they just keep telling me I'm okay. And so sometimes we'll ask, well, is there a plan or have they proved it out to you? Have they put the numbers in front of you?
Right.
And a lot of times we see they don't. But Nick and I, over the years, it's more of coaching people through retirement. Most people that we work with are almost at retirement or in retirement. And I can say like a big part of it is coaching them. And I'd say probably getting them comfortable spending. Would you say that, Nick?
Yeah, definitely. Because you saved for 30, 40 years. It really is hard to, and I feel like a psychiatrist trying to get some of my clients to spend and starting to see those accounts starting to dwindle. And we just want to be prepared just in case, those ups and downs in the market.
Yeah, and I'd probably say, you kind of look at how we get there. All of us, what we're doing is we're saving and saving and saving for retirement. So we've been in a savings mode for 30 or 40 years, and we're just not comfortable spending out of those accounts because our mind is just, we've saved all this, we've got this number. And then we start to spend, it's like, it's going away. It's going away so quick. We're going to run out of money. And so that worry comes in. This week, myself and one of my other advisors here, Brian, we're sitting in with someone and they actually came up to one of our educational events and we're sitting with them and they're telling us, hey, we've already interviewed a bunch of advisors and we're leaning more towards using this other group because they seem like they're planning. They're telling their experiences visiting with other people too, and the fact that everyone's just about investments and kind of keeping things secretive.
Right.
And so he goes, we came to your workshop, and it was a night me and Nick were doing the workshop together, and they're like, yeah, we listened to you and your son, and you guys hit so many things that no one else is hitting, and we're talking about the planning, getting people comfortable spending, the tax piece of it, how if you actually do planning, it improves your accounts because you're keeping more money behind, more money in your pockets. No one wants to leave more money to the IRS. They want to leave more money to their kids. I guess I could sum it up that way.
Shocking.
So we go through the meeting, we're gathering information, we're talking about planning. At the end of the meeting, by the way, I gave him the book that I wrote, and I go, the idea here is if you have a chance, read the book, because one of our biggest things here is we want to get people thinking big picture. And, it's about the spending in retirement. It's about the tax planning. It's about the estate planning. So it's taking a look at that whole entire picture for the person. And crazy thing is, too, we finished up, booked another appointment because we have to build things out for them and, show them numbers. We always want to start with numbers, that Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup. But all of a sudden last night, they send me an email. They're all excited about the meeting. They're like, yeah, we definitely put that other person off for now. We're not going to do that till we come in and we talk to you some more. We really like the idea of planning and the coaching part, because his wife brought up the fact, and in the meeting or in the seminar, you said something about getting people comfortable spending. He goes, my husband won't spend anything. He's afraid we're going to run out of money. So right there, it's making them more comfortable. We run into it all the time.
Yeah, we do. And even just bringing up someone that I just saw about a month ago being comfortable spending. They retired probably about a year ago, and we've gone through a couple of reviews, and all they keep spending is just their Social Security and pension. They're worried about the money does not last them throughout retirement. And they can actually spend, I think the number was about $2,000 or a little over $2,000 a month, and their funds would be fine. And it was just really hard getting them even just start taking $500 a month out of the account. And I was so happy that the last time that I saw them, they were like, yeah, money's a little tight, inflation, and they're just living on their social and a small pension. And they're like, I actually think we need a little extra money coming in. And I was so excited. I was like, you know what? Good for you guys. I want you guys to do as much as you can in retirement, especially in the beginning. I mean, those are your go-go years is what they call it. You got 10 to 15 years, and I hope more years, that you're doing traveling and doing as much as you want. And then you slow down, just the factor of life, and then unfortunately just the healthcare piece of it at the end. So like I said, being that psychiatrist, making sure, showing them on paper too, we run our estimates conservative on the retirement checkup so that you're okay spending at that amount. So when I told them, yeah, you could spend $2,000, that's us being on the conservative end too. So seeing them spend $500, that made me happy. That's what makes me happy about my job too, seeing that they hit their goals and dreams.
Yeah, and you kind of hit on it, Nick, though. One of the big things is it's not just about showing them the numbers. We do it every 6 months, sitting down for reviews, going over these things, but it's that getting someone comfortable in retirement. It just doesn't take showing them numbers once. We do the 6-month reviews, and I don't know, I can't tell you how many times we're always showing them the numbers, but it's the idea of getting someone into retirement, and I don't know, what would you say, 6 months, a year into retirement before they get more comfortable spending?
Yeah, I'd say 6 months, and then especially the 6 months before they retire too. Mm-hmm. We've had a few people want to come in multiple times just to make sure everything's in a row. They're about to get their first paycheck from their retirement accounts, their monthly paycheck. So it is really that, like I said, being a psychiatrist, making sure that they feel okay spending, making sure that they made the right decision, whether to retire at 65, 70, the amount works for them. If something happens in the market, they have somewhere else to take from, because your plan has to weather the storm too. Because a lot of people I know right now, it's been 17 years since a major recession. I know we've had a couple blips since 2008, but you're going to probably see a couple more recessions in retirement. If you're 65 years old, usually there's one every decade or so. Mm-hmm. So 65 to 90, that's 25 years. You might see two, and you possibly could see more.
And that's the coaching on getting comfortable, but the other piece of it too. And I can tell you this, we had someone come in, and they're like, our advisor wants us to do a Roth conversion. We have no clue why. It's just, he just said it was going to save us money in taxes.
Yeah.
And so
it's like, that's not the way you should approach any part of your financial. It's like, just do this thing because I said so. I'm going to need more clarity, please.
Yeah. So we want people being comfortable even doing that.
Yeah.
Like Nick will tell you, we'll run side by sides, and we end up showing it if you do this versus if you don't do this. And then you look at over time the effect on it. Does it help them in the tax world? Does it happen in the estate planning world? Is there a good reason to be doing this? It's really like proving out whether or not there's an advantage. Nick and I were looking at a case, actually, Brian and Matt were with us too. It was in our team meeting when we were talking about cases. Mm-hmm. That case that you're meeting with that guy and doing conversions actually didn't help him.
Yeah, and it was just because, sometimes you're not looking at just them. You're looking like later down the line too. Okay, Roth conversions, yeah, you can see a benefit for you, but you also can see a bigger benefit later down the line, passing on money to legacy. So that same question as what my dad said before, would you rather money go to the IRS or to your children? And if you can do those Roth conversions year over year, you sometimes see a bigger benefit even passing on money. But yeah, for that one person that I presented the Roth conversion, why it didn't work was just because he's single. He doesn't have money to pass on to, so he's not as worried about that. He's more worried about only his tax situation. So like I said, every person's different. We want to make sure to get the advantage for that person that comes in, whether it's that legacy planning piece or just for them. And looking at his plan, it was kind of tough to make the numbers work. Yeah, there was kind of a break even on it where you could do it or you can't do it, and it's not going to be like it's overly at an advantage. And that's where I kind of was like, yeah, you're going to pay extra taxes now, but there's also that RMD later too. So then you're kind of going after it and saying, okay, kind of looking and kind of even just putting your opinion on it. I mean, looking at, okay, we know that the government and we know that the national debt just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. And I know there's a lot of things happening right now, and I'm just going to ignore those things for now, the tariffs to be specific. But what if that national debt keeps climbing? One of these presidents are probably going to have to come in here, whether it's the next one or the one after, and they're going to say, guess what? The debt keeps climbing. You're going to have to pay for it.
Right.
So that means taxes can probably go up in 4, 8, 12 years.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, maybe that Roth conversion does make sense right now. So in that situation for the person that came in, I would say I'd still probably do it just because it's almost like a break even right now. But if taxes do go up in the long term, then you're actually going to get a benefit out of it. Because right now we have one of the lowest tax codes since it started as a whole. So you're looking at that and you're thinking, maybe it's probably not going to go as much down. It's probably going the other way, but that's an opinion. And I stress that to him too.
Yeah. And the whole thing, like what Nick's talking about, by putting the numbers in front of someone, numbers you could be honest around. Basically, when we present it, we're able to tell that person, hey, it's kind of not. It kind of gives you an advantage, kind of doesn't. It's kind of that in between, and then give a reason why, yeah, you might want to do this because of this. And then with the person looking at the numbers and us showing, they can make a better decision. Yes, we're recommending. Yes, we're helping them out. We're helping them make those decisions. But ultimately, you have to put the numbers in front of someone and get them comfortable. I always say it starts with that Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup that we do. Once we get that built out and those numbers there, then, and this is going to sound fun, but then we can play with numbers. And by playing with the numbers and working the codes and some of the strategies, we could start to figure out, oh, maybe if they do this, it actually gives them an advantage. So we're always looking at a better way to do things. And we don't want to find out 10 years after the fact, oh, the person should have done this. We want to be proactive. So getting that Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup, and we do that complimentary for listeners, they just give us a call, 860-854-3434.
And to your point, guys, this idea of sharing information, putting the information in front of the people that you work with, this is the difference between what a lot of people in the financial industry do versus what you do at Tumolo Financial. So if you are looking for some coaching for this second phase of your financial life, Ken and Nick, they are here to help.
Investment advice offered through Tumolo Wealth Management, a Connecticut-registered investment advisor. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here.